Some of the indicators have position aspects to them. In other words, where they're located, under or above zero, tells you much about what the price is doing or could do. And so we call them position indicators. Power red is the best position indicator that we have in the system, in my opinion. And as a result, power red can give you a lot of information while you're trading. For example, you think that a price may be dropping or going up, and power red is bouncing around, under 4 or even under 5. Oh, by the way, power red, the bottom on power red is at 6. It doesn't go any lower than 6. And I'll flip over to the chart here. I'm using JetBlue Airways in this example. JBLU is the symbol. And I have two examples that I want to point out. I'll talk about the gray vertical line first. And I'm using this as though we would purchase, buy this long on this day. There's been several nice red candles, so it could potentially be at the bottom of a cycle. Primarily we're in a trend red low angle down, and the trend red is at minus 66. So it falls within the prime area, that 40 to 80 area that's prime for springing back up, price back up scenario. Excuse me. In this example, we have zip green at 0, and we also have zip red is at 9, and zip gray is at 7, zip yellow is at 30, zip blue is at 5, and zip pink is at 3. And so in this example, zip pink is next to green, and that qualifies for the pink-green bottom to go up next day. Now, just because it is lowest doesn't mean it is going to go up next day, but it qualifies for that because there's a high probability of there's almost no very little, maybe 1 or 2% of it going up if zip pink is not next to zip green. The exception to that is zip Zion next to zip green, and that may or may not technically be a pink-green bottom since pink is no longer there. But however you look at it, the requirement is that zip pink be going down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, whatever it is, and zip green be at 0 for the same number of days. If you go to the pink-green bottom and the pink-green top categories within the pattern types file in the documents index, you'll find reference to how several types of those patterns exist, or the conditions that are present when they move. Because you've got a few, there's probably 5 or 6 that I recall, different patterns within the pink-green bottom overall pattern. Now, with this condition that we have right here, with the trend red in a low angle down, we've established the fact that the pink-green bottom has zip pink next to it, which means that it can go up the next day. Power red is in a low angle down. Power Zion is in a low angle down. So we got the big three, trend red, power red, and swing Zion, in a low angle down pattern. And the fourth, I talk about the big three. The big four adds the zip red to that. And zip red is in a low angle up. So we got some divergence in the big four, which means we should be up next day. And with divergence, we typically would go up fairly strong. In this case, we can see, however, excuse me, that we're not going up strong. And there's factors for that, but the key thing, one of the key things is your trend yellow is under 0. Now that's typical for this type of pattern. When you have trend red that's way down there in a low angle down pattern, it's, there's 2 strong days of it going down at least, because we see the trend red dropping 40 points or whatever it is, and then the low angle down, which was again a good drop. And then we can look at the chart and see there's a total of 4 down candles, so we know we had 4 days down. But the point that I want to make is that there's conditions that excuse me, that affect the outcome of your next day results. And in this case, it's not something that we can pick up necessarily on the next day. And by that I mean, we look at this position here, and it has closed on the gray vertical line day. The close is, I'm going to move this, the close is at $16.90. And the following day, the close is at $17.03. So we can see, it goes up 13 cents, which is not much. It opened at $16.95. So it gapped up a little bit. Excuse me, I said that wrong. The open was $17.05 on the next day, whereas this day with the gray vertical line closed at $16.90. So we have a gap up red doji candle is what we have on the first day, and that is not typical when you especially excuse me again that is not typical when you have a trend red crossover trend green. Normally when you have that happen, because the trend red is in a BOC higher pattern on the day after the gray candle, gray vertical line, and as a result of that, we would normally expect, because there's extra power in a bottom of cycle higher pattern, and there's extra power when the red crosses over the green, because when the red crosses over the green, that establishes an uptrend primarily. And so those facts make us believe that things are going to go up significantly. But we run into some key things here, and one of them is the 50 MA, the red line that's running across the above the candles, is a resistance line. And although we don't possibly notice it on the first day, I mean, normally we definitely would. I would I would pick up on this immediately. Anytime the red is in a BOC higher pattern and it goes over green at the same time, and then it ends up as a red doji candle, that's not right. And so that would be an issue for me. This video is on the positioning of indicators, trend red being the best position indicator we have. When trend red is under 0, prices stay down. When it's above 0, prices go up. And you can see here that next day, I've got to move this, trend red was minus 38.99. I'm saying that wrong. I said trend red, but I meant power red. Power red is at 5.40 on this day with the gray candle, gray vertical line, and on the next day it's minus 4.8. So it's just under 5 a little bit. The bottom of power red is at 6. I think you've heard me mention that before. And so the power red doesn't go any lower than 6. And when it's under 4, things typically are always going down. The other factor too that I just thought of here is I've made comments about really strong down moves and avoiding those, or at least watching what you're doing after they occur. And we have we have 4 red candles to the gray vertical line, and the third day really dropped big. And so as a result of that, what we're seeing here is the red above the green. Trend red is above the green, and that says we're in an uptrend. But the prices are barely going up, and after 3 days after the gray vertical line, they're no longer going up. And they're bouncing. Trend red is bouncing up and down under 0 all of this time, and then it falls back down over here about 10-12 days later. All of that time, power red has been under 4, minus 4. And so it tells you that even though like here on this day right here we got a green candle and oh great, we're going to go up now. Well, trend or power red is 3.89. It just broke under 4 a little bit there. And so, and it maybe did over here on this second day. No, it's 4.13 there. So one day in all of these, looks like 3 weeks of time, it went above red, above minus 4 just a little bit. So in all indications, we're just headed for more days down. And we obviously analyzed each day as a result of the 22 market force recognition indicators. But when we have trend red staying down under 4, that is very significant. It does nothing but help verify where price is going. And so that's the value of a red position indicator. Notice also, if you will, power yellow is also at the bottom. I mean, red is under it obviously, but power yellow is staying down low, running right around 1 or minus 1 or minus 1.5. As is the zip yellow. When zip yellow stays down low under that 20 range, prices just go down. It's also verified in the trend chart by trend yellow being under 0. Whenever the trend yellow travels relatively flat under 0, prices typically go down. Over here on the yellow line, yellow vertical line, we have in the zip chart we have a pink-green bottom. that looks like it's about 4 days long. We have, in the power chart, we have power red, again low. Power red on the yellow vertical line happens to be at minus 4.5. So it is down under 4. And in the case of the pink-green bottom there on the yellow line day, we have pink-green at 3.1. So, and this is a typical pattern. If you've listened to the pink-green bottom patterns, one of the things that happens on the day before the rise in price occurs is that the other lines leave and go up. By other lines, I mean zip yellow, zip blue, zip red, and zip gray. They are above, and what happens, zip red, I said that wrong, zip pink actually may stay just about the same, but it's going down a little bit, and it ends up right next to green, zip green. Now, that's one of the categories of the 5 or 6 primary categories within the pink-green bottom pattern, which is just really typical. This also falls on as a right leg W, looks like about a 10-day pattern over here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-day pattern. So on the yellow line, we have a trend red in a right leg W higher pattern. It's a large pattern, and if you haven't heard me comment before, when you have large, especially trend red patterns in a right leg higher, not a right leg lower, it's got to be right leg higher, then that typically drives price up. And one thing that we found as well is that we've got a 9-day pattern here with between the two bottoms of the right leg W, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This red candle up here makes it 11 days. Now, why the coincidence between the closeness of the separation of the two W legs and the climb is not exactly known. I don't know how that correlation comes about, but I mean, it's hard to say. Right here, there's the peak. I would have possibly exited peak at that, or exited that trade on that point right there, for a couple of reasons. You've got trend gray on this day. Trend gray is in a BOC higher pattern. Trend red is really high up. Trend red, let me pull that up. Trend red is at 59. And on this day, your zip yellow and blue, well, especially the zip yellow, has gone up and is right under trend green, zip green, but zip pink may be above it. But in any case, when you have like a zip yellow shoot up like that, it typically goes down the next day, as it does, and I would have been in the camp that would have said it's gonna go down, gap down, because the green candle on this day that I'm holding the line on is almost touching the yellow band the yellow high band line. And so personally, I would have got out on this day, even though it gapped up real high the next day and then turned into a red candle. So there's many issues that would tell you to how you can read the end of a cycle as it moves through an uptrend. When it gaps up, it's usually going to go up the next day. But when it gets to the end of a cycle like here, where it had a huge gap up, then it turns around and goes down, especially when it hits resistance like the white long dash 100 moving average line. So going on to the other, I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of other issues that I can deal with, but I didn't comment about how power red remained low, and I wanted to bring that to your attention, because once power red crosses over 0, then we go into a high, a price up trend, as you can see here right after the vertical yellow line, or 2 days after the vertical yellow line, power red crossed over and above 0. And as long as it's running above 0, it typically the price typically goes up. And you can kind of see it in the rest of the activity in the power red, whether it's above or under 0. But it's position indicators are seen, are used more along the lines of verification concerns rather than how they might be utilized from the perspective of the 22 market force recognition indicators, because power red is one of the big 3. Power red is one of the market force recognition indicators, but power red is also a position indicator, as I've just shown. And when it stays under 4, it you know, when you see a green candle and prices going up, and if you didn't have this red 50 moving average above these red candles in here, then it might, on that the day after that gray line, it might be different. But it is an amazing group of sensitive indicators, and position indicators, trend red, power red being the best of the bunch as far as I'm concerned.